In our previous discussion, we covered how to optimize your card collection for your character build. We explored efficient card farming methods and strategies for creating effective card combinations. Today, we're diving deep into maximizing your damage output. We've covered some basics in previous videos, but today, we'll uncover even more ways to boost your character's power. Before we proceed to our guide, I only have a small favor to ask. If this video helped you, please leave a like and subscribe to help our channel grow. This way, we can create more videos that can also help other fellow gamers. Okay, let's go back to the topic. First, let's talk about stats. Many players ask me about how to increase attack. Stat is the most straightforward answer. If you have bad gears, you can temporarily get all your physical attack from allocating at least 50 points of stat in STR. I do not advise to max your STR stat points to 60, since it will cost you 7 points to increase a stat beyond 50 stats. So instead, you can allocate the remaining stat to your secondary stat like agility, dexterity, or vitality. There is also haste, attack speed, and other modifiers like defense bypass and critical, but we will talk about that later in the video. Next is enhancement. Although enhancement generally has a 100% success rate, it only gives a slow improvement to your attack stats. The goal is to enhance all your gear to plus 100 to get decent amount of bonuses in Awakening, then slowly upgrading until you reach plus 120 all the way to plus 150. But you don't need to do this in one go. My rule of thumb here is always enhance your gears twice as your level. If you are level 30, then your enhancement should be at plus 60. But this is just me. There are many ways to increase your base attack stat, and that includes getting attack enchantment or equipping a high star attack card. Next is cards. I would say not everyone has the luck to get cards every day in auto exploration. But if you followed my other guides, specifically my guide on farming crystals, you won't need to worry since you can usually buy most of these cards in the trading house. When farming cards, I would suggest for you to prioritize all the STR and attack cards, since they are main source of physical damage. For example, you want to farm Andre card. Once you hit level 51, you can start farming in Ant's Den from level 51 up to level 57. It will give you a lower experience rate, but if you can make your rank SS, you will definitely get cards every day. Another reason why you should SS your rank is to reduce the experience penalty. This way you can hit 2 objectives, farm cards, and at the same time get a decent amount of experience points. Next is enchantment. You need to prioritize enchantment over refinement because enchantment has a 100% success rate, even if you get random stats, as long as it is viable for your class. Use it for the meantime. What we are after here is leveling your enchantment and leveling your crafting skill. The next thing you should do is to refine your gears. At this point, if you are short in Zenny, just use all the extra materials you got in mining. I would suggest smelt at least extra, since refinement has a chance to break especially in high levels. If the required aluminium to upgrade your weapon is 6 pieces, then craft at least 12. Next is modifiers and multipliers. There are plenty of modifiers you can use for your build, such as defense bypass, critical, or physical damage bonus. I will not give you a formula on how to get the final damage output for each modifiers, since most of these computations are not from Ragnarok Rebirth. So instead of guessing, I will give you the idea on how this works. Generally in Ragnarok Online, a modifier is a value that is added or subtracted from a base value to change its result. For example, a defense bypass will reduce the target's defense based on their stat value, meaning the higher your defense bypass value. The more portion of your attack penetrates the defense of your target. Now I am not sure if the calculation for this is just as simple as getting your target's defense value subtracting to your defense bypass value. If it is, there are still factors that can affect the final output, like race, size, and even the element of your target. So it is much better to do these tests the actual game. Multiplier is a value that multiplies a base value to increase or decrease its result. What does this mean? Let's use crit as an example. Crit is base value which gives fixed increased rate to increase our attacks, while a critical damage scales to your base physical attack. Also, the higher your critical damage value, the higher your critical damage will be. Of course, if you can get the other modifiers in your build like defense bypass and physical damage bonus would be great, but dividing your stats often weakens your damage. Unless you spend on getting good gears or you find the right balance in your stat. As for the viewer that told me regarding the 20,000 damage increase in Blitzer using physical bonus damage stat, if what he said is true, then there is more to it than just adding a fixed value on top of the final damage output. I would suggest to test this for yourself. If you have a physical bonus damage card, or if you are doing your enchantment, try to record your damage and compare your damage with and without bonus damage modifier stat. Then, if you happen to get a physical bonus damage enchantment, check the damage, and if it really increases your damage and you think it's much better, then switch to it. Like I said, these are all theory. Theory is important, but practical application is the key. Next is your gears. Gears have different level. You will start with level 1 gear, then you move to level 30, level 40, level 50, and level 60. If your character is level 50 and you are wearing level 30 weapon and armor, then don't expect to have a higher damage output. Weapon's attack value is fixed. It is increased by around 200 to 300 attack each gear level. Armors and accessories too increases their stats as they level. Take note that the set effects of gears also increases as the level increases. In short, it is important to equip yourself with gears that are matched for your levels. The next one is the harsh truth. You need lots of crystals, that's the reality. You can only achieve this without spending real money by selling those upgrading materials like aluminium, or if you are lucky to get those rare drops, then perhaps you can sell it. But Ragnarok is not just a straightforward farming game. You can farm every day and will still get out damaged by other players. Simply because your way of doing things is slow, therefore it will give you a slow progress. Whether it is your refinement, your enhancement, or your enchantment. You can even buy Khafra Pass and a few diamonds, and it will still not make any impact on your progress. Everything that we have talked about will be useless if you can't afford your build. Sometimes you need to think outside of the game and study how players and how the game will behave, especially during the first few weeks of its release. You need to ride the hype in order for this to work. You can't just vend your items and expect your items will be sold. If there is no demand, then there will be no buyer. A level 50 character will not buy those upgrading materials, unless he is rushing his upgrades. But if we will look at the current state of the game, we are not on a rush. The game is stuck at level 60, which means that player has all the time to farm his own materials and save every crystals he gets from the daily rewards. I hope you learned something from this video, especially if you will play on the new server on August 3rd. And that's it. If this video helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe to help our channel, and so you won't miss our future videos.